Welcome to the Uncensored Self Podcast. I am your host, Ryan Gillen, and this is a space where women who value achievement, success, accomplishment, and wealth, but also crave happiness, love, joy, and deep fulfillment come to remember that we get to have both. Not by doing more, but by being more of who we truly are. In this show, we explore identity, energy, alignment, and embodiment because you didn't come here to follow someone else's rules. You came to right your own. Let's dive in. Welcome to today's live recording of the Uncensored Self Podcast. And we're going to continue our Unlearning Success series. The feedback that I have been getting about the series is just bananas. You guys are loving this conversation. You're resonating with this conversation. You're asking really amazing conversations and really amazing questions. And I am just delighted to continue this conversation. But what I felt really called to share with you guys today as I was preparing for today's conversation, which is specifically going to be about overthinking. And the myth specifically is that overthinking is smart decision making. But as I was making my notes and really planning for how I wanted to talk to you about this today, I realized that it's more than just smart decision making. Overthinking has literally become, I'm going to call it a disease, right? A disease that we have as high achievers, because as high achievers, we've been put in the box of people that are very smart, right? Very smart people are smart thinkers. But the problem is that we think so much that we actually wind up creating more problems, more issues than we think that we do. So that's what I'm going to talk about. But the reason why I really love this Unlearning Success series, and especially here on the podcast, is the idea that we have been programmed to believe something specific about our life. When I say something along the lines of you are the problem and you are the solution, which one of my favorite things my mentor used to say over and over and over again to me is you are the problem and you are also the solution, right? And I was like, what the fuck does that mean, right? Like, what does it mean to be the problem and the solution? How can I be the problem and the solution at the same time? And it's because, remember, from an identity perspective, you're the creator of your reality. If you're the one creating these circumstances, you're the one who is creating the problem, but you are also the one who is creating the solution. But the question that very naturally, and pardon me if my eyes are moving around, I'm watching us on two screens just to make sure if anybody comments or anything, I can see you guys. So okay, I'm back. But if you have comments, go ahead and drop them below. I do want to make sure to make this an interactive conversation. But how can I be the problem and the solution? Because you're the one creating both, right? You create the problem, you create the solution. The reason why when you are in the problem, you cannot find the solution is because you're at the same level of consciousness, right? That's the Einstein quote of you cannot solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that created it. And that's why we need to unlearn success, because we have learned success at a certain level of consciousness, at a certain energetic level if we're playing the energy game. Right? There is an energetic level of success, and it is the one that talks about things like hustle, hard work, sacrifice, overthinking, people pleasing, all the things that we're covering in these series. That is a level of consciousness. That is an experience that so many people have of the world. But you can have a different experience because you're the one creating the experience. So you can have a different experience than this crazy, chaotic, wild feeling that you have going on in your life. You can create success from this really peaceful, connected, cohesive place, or you can create whatever the fuck it is that you want to create. And so that's why I'm just so passionate about this conversation. Is not that I don't want you to be successful, because when we say unlearning success, we think, oh, I have to lower my bar. I have to want something different. I have to play small. I have to fit in with everybody else. And I'm actually asking you to stand out from everyone else. I'm not asking you to fit in with everybody else, because everybody else wants chaos and drama and hard work and struggle, because that is what the world sold them. There are so few people who will do this work. There are so few people who will do the work to truly unlearn success and live life really fully. And it is because it is terrifying to look at the world around you and say, meh, that's not for me. I'm going to go over here and do this differently. Because when we do things differently, we get vilified, right? We get vilified. When you think of all the really big thinkers in the world, like really big thinkers, and we can think about people like Jesus, right? Or we can think about people like Abraham Hicks or Esther Hicks, right? There's so many people who are really big thinkers who think really, really differently, but those people very often get vilified, right? They get hung out to dry. They get painted into the corner as quacks or people who are crazy. And so when you are somebody who's so rooted in logic and so rooted in the world that it looks today, this shit looks super crazy. And the reason why I say this is because when I discovered this work, that is what I thought. I was like, if there is a chance that this is true, I really fucking want it to be true. And I really want to master it. But what will everybody else think? Everybody else who is still playing the mind game, everybody else who still believes in hustle and hard work. And am I mentally strong enough to do something entirely different than what the rest of the world is doing? That's what this is about. I got a DM from a woman who's been following along in this series, and she was telling me, I'm still so torn between the idea of the energy game versus just hiring somebody to give me the secret as to how to succeed in my career. And what I said to her was, as somebody who was looking for years and years and years for somebody to just tell me what the fuck to do to make it easier, I can tell you that those people are amazing, that want to tell you that, but unless they are fully aligned with you, their roadmap might work, but it's going to probably be hard. It's going to probably feel not the way that you want it to. And I just speak from such personal experience. This is not like my way versus somebody else's way, because you have to pick the way that works best for you. But I understand that feeling, that need to explain it differently. But I mean, for that is to, like, you want it to look the way that I'm painting it to you, but you're also still tied to everybody else in my life is doing it this way. So maybe I'll just do it this way too. And that's what the resistance is in your body right now. And that's what unlearning success is you're like, oh, I love the idea of this concept, Ryan, but truly living this concept is terrifying because I don't know anybody else living this way. And that's why I am so loud about what I talk about, because I want to be an example of what is possible for you, not in that like rah inspiration, motivation type of way. I want to be an inspiration from you as like, that woman honors her shit. She says what she says and she lives what she lives, and it feels good. And I don't want you to want to do what I do necessarily. I want you to develop your own ideas. I want you to develop your own magic. I want you to develop your own voice. I want you to develop your own personal power, because all of us were given personal power that is equal but different, right? It's equal but different. Our power is equal but different. Our goals might be different. Our objectives might be different. Our industries may look different. And that's what really, truly unlearning success is about. So let's talk about overthinking specifically, because this is one that I think plagues almost all of you. And you can tell me, those of you that are here live, tell me if you identify as being an overthinker, as somebody who is constantly thinking all of the time. And I don't think I realized how much I was thinking, and I don't think I realized how much thinking was hurting me. And what I mean by thinking hurting me is my need to constantly be thinking about how do I solve all the problems in my life was actually what was causing the problem. I'm going to say that for you again. Your need to constantly think about the problem in your life is perpetuating the problem, because you are where your attention is. So if your thinking is constantly on, how do I make more money? How do I hire better teammates? How do I fix this problem? How do I get out of this mess? How do I transition into this different business? How do I figure out to do things that I love? How do I figure out how to get out of debt? How do I figure out how to do ABC, XYZ? What about this? And what about that? And what about all these other things, right? That is what your mind is constantly doing. So when you give your attention to those things, all God, source, the universe can do is say, okay, Brenda, here's some more of the same. Right? Cool. You like all this chaos and this drama and this figuring out. I'm going to give you more things to figure out. You like trying to solve problems? Let me give you more problems to solve. Oh, you like constantly thinking about lack of money? Let me give you more lacking money, or more money to lack. Right? If you like to say things like, oh, I can't do that, it's too expensive, the universe says, yes, you can't do that, it's too expensive. If you like to say things that, well, this is just the nature of the business, this is just what's going on in the economy right now, I don't have any control over this, the universe says, yep, no control. God always says yes. God always says yes. The law of attraction, the universe always says yes. So when you're overthinking, it is saying yes to all the things that you are overthinking, which is why the overthinking is causing the problem. Your thoughts are things. Your thoughts are literally creative, energetic impulses that go out into the world. And if you're not mindful of what you are thinking about, and you are not intentionally thinking, and you're just thinking about whatever pops into your brain with zero thought to it, zero consciousness to it, you are going to create the same situations over and over and over. Terry, I hear you. She says overthinker right there. I know, right? But that's the thing. The overthinking is killing you. And I remember I had a mentor once, a guy that I took his program, and it's the only time I ever hired a male. And he was just like, you're thinking too much. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, how do you think less? And what I learned, and what Abraham kind of landed this plane, is it's not a matter of thinking less. It's a matter of thinking intentionally. So when we say overthinking, it's overthinking about one particular topic, and typically a topic that is not serving you. So overthinking about how you can't just ever seem to get out of debt every single single time you get a big check and you pay off the debt and everything's fine, then it just comes back and you just don't understand why you can't ever seem to get ahead, and you don't understand why you can't ever just experience abundance or experience magic, or you can't ever just experience that thing. And that's what you're constantly thinking about. That's what you're constantly going to experience. So overthinking, the cure, quote unquote, of overthinking isn't think less. It's think more about things that feel good. It's think more about the things that you want. Like if you're honest with yourself, especially Terry and Brenda, thank you for participating in the conversation. How much time do you spend thinking about all the shit you don't want and worrying about it and trying to figure it out and stressing it out and telling everybody who will listen about it? Okay. If you're bitching to me, if I'm your coach or your mentor, if you're telling me, and I'm bitching, you're not bitching at me, but if you're sharing a situation with me and then you're sharing it with your mom on your phone, and then you're sharing it with your sister later, and you're sharing it with your kid, and then you're sharing it with your, your significant other later, all you're doing is saying, universe, give me more of this. So what I want us to do is not so much to think less. I want you to think about what you want. Brenda says she thinks 25 hours a day about shit she doesn't want. That is why there are so many circumstances in your life you do not want. And I say that just as simply as possible. And there's no judgment in that. I'm not saying that to make you feel dumb or to make you feel stupid. I'm saying that because that is the God's honest truth. This is literal. This is literal, guys. What you think about, you create. So when you think about problems, you create problems. And so this idea that I have to think about all of my decisions, especially those of you that are like, I take a long time to make decisions. I have to give it a lot of thought and a lot of consideration and a lot of that. What you're saying is that I don't trust myself to make decisions. So I try to overly lend to my thinking brain, and in turn, I wind up talking myself out of something that my gut said yes to, right? The thing is and this is why I think that mindset work alone doesn't work, right? When I studied mindset work, all it taught me how to do was to use my mind, and you're missing your body and your soul when you think about you just only use your mind. That's another reason why overthinking is a problem, is because, again, when you just don't use the mind, you're not checked in with the body. You don't know what your body is intuitively telling you to do. You don't know what your soul truly wants because you don't care. You're just using your logical mind. You're just using your ego. You're just using your human, right? And when we use our human, we get the human experience. And not to say that we're not here to have a human experience, because you are, but you're getting what most people are having. And I would say the majority of the people in this world aren't having the type of experience that they desire to have. The majority of people these days don't love their life. They're not making the amount of money they want to make. Their bodies don't look the way that they want them to. They don't actually experience life in a way that feels good. They may have amassed a lot of things, right? They may have amassed the material markers of success, but are they truly living their life, or are they merely surviving, right? That's what this whole series started about, was unlearning success, was how do we get out of survival mode? We get out of survival mode by not thinking about shit that doesn't serve us. My favorite thing that the way Abraham teaches this is so much fun. It's your opinion, right? Like this is outrageous. Like say that something's happening in your life and you said, this is outrageous. This is ridiculous. That is your opinion. You think that it is ridiculous. You feel like it is ridiculous, and you might be right. I said this once to my partner. We're having a conversation. He comes home and he's talking to me about work, and he's like, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then that, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, wow. Like that is a whole lot. And it's very possible that every single one of the things that you just said is true. But I have to ask you, is it serving you? Is it serving you to sit here and think about how that guy isn't doing his job, and how that guy, you don't understand how he still has a job, and how you don't understand this and you don't understand that, and all these different things, right? You have to really think about the idea that what you think about, you create. So when you think about how that guy sucks and that guy sucks and people are crazy and that person is this and that person is that and that person's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and I don't understand what's going on, like that's what you create. Okay. That's what overthinking creates. And it's really, really important and powerful that you don't allow yourself to get caught up in that. So I'm actually going to go to my notes. Yeah. Here we are about 15 minutes in, and I'm like, oh, notes. I have those for you, right? The overthinking, what the overthinking is often doing, coming back to my notes, right, is fear, right? Overthinking is actually fear. I'm just going to say that. Overthinking about a problem is not solution generating. It is fear generating. I'm going to say that for you again. Overthinking about a problem is not solution generating. It's fear generating. So you have to ask yourself, as you sit here and overthink, do I want more fear or do I want something else? That's a really, really important question to ask yourself. And when we get stuck in our heads in that trying to figure it out, make the right choice, avoid the wrong one, we wind up again getting stuck in that mind game that I was just talking about. So the energy game plays by very different rules. So what the mind game says to you is you've got to prove it. You've got to prove you're worth it, Terry. Of course you've got to think 24/7 because your family finds it so valuable that you solve all their problems for it. So you need to prove it. You need to explain it, and you need to plan it, and you need to analyze it, and you need to dot every I, and you need to cross every T, and everything has to be perfect, and it has to be in order. And if you don't do it that way, OMG, right? The energy game says feel it. It says know it. It says trust it. It says be it, right? The mind game is obsessed with outcomes and control and certainty. The energy game, it's fluid, it's creative, it's not logical. If you're trying to logic yourself into the energy game, which I did for a very, very, very long time, there's no judgment, but it's always going to cause a delay in what you want because you're like, okay, what is the exact right thing to think to get what I want? Right? That's overthinking. That's overanalyzing versus what would I love? What would be fun? What do I enjoy? What excites me? What can I think about all day long that just turns me on in the most exciting way possible, right? That's the difference between the mind game and the energy game. So when you try to play the energy game with the mind game rules, you lose, right? You overthink the decisions, you delay the moves, you second guess the very thing that your soul already said yes to. And the reason why we know your soul said yes to it is because you want it. If you want it, it's because your soul said yes to it. And you're just too busy overthinking all the reasons why you can or can't have it to deliver it. That's it. Your soul said yes because you want it. God said yes because you want it. Your mind is over here going like, but what about this? And what about this? And what about this? And what about this? Am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? Did I work hard enough? Do I earn it? Did I deserve it? Oh my gosh, they're going to find I don't know what I'm doing. I must get another certification. Maybe I just need to take another class. Maybe this industry isn't even right for me. I mean, I just wonder, I don't know. Right? Have you ever felt that way? Because I know I felt that way so much when I played the mind game. That's the overthinking. Overthinking, like I said, it's fear, it's not intelligence because it feels like strategy. We've got to brainstorm a way to do this. But again, it's just fear. It's I've got to control the pieces because I don't trust God, source, the universe to do their part. It's your nervous system being completely dysregulated, right? It's your nervous system saying, well, if I play full out, if I do this, what are they going to think of me? Will they judge me? Will they reject me? Will I fail? OMG, so I got to make sure I do it right. It's pretending to be smart, but it's actually spinning in survival. If I just keep thinking about it, eventually it will be good enough. Real intelligence isn't mental gymnastics, it's energetic alignment, right? Your mind tries to make the unknown safe. Your energy makes the unknown inevitable, right? Your brain's job is to keep you safe. That's why the overthinking, it feels familiar. Even if it's not getting you closer to your goals, it feels familiar and your brain loves familiarity. I was just having this conversation with my sister yesterday, right? We were talking about this idea, this concept, and it's like that's the brain's job. That is literally the brain's job, is to keep you safe. So the frequency, when we understand how do we unlearn success, right? I talk about the energy match, right? The frequency of success, the success that you and I want, it's calm, it's certain, it's clean. Like when you think about the end result, the business you want, the life you want, the career you want, when you're sitting at your desk doing whatever it is that you do, how do you want it to feel? You don't want it to feel busy. You don't want it to feel chaotic. The mind is busy. Energy is clear, right? The mind is chaotic. Energy is grounded. The mind is loud. The energy is subtle, but it's powerful. The frequency of success is not spinning in circles. It's, oh my God, this feels right. And this is so amazing. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to build the plane while it's taking off. And I'm going to live in the messy middle, right? None of us want to live in the messy middle. We all only want to live in the destination. So we overthink about the destination. And am I going to get to the destination? Is the destination going to be good enough? Is it going to look right? Right? You don't create just what you think you want, right? You create what you are. And overthinking has got your energy so scattered that you can't be anything but this overwhelming ball of noise, right? But here's the beautiful part of this. Your job, you don't have to figure it out. When you play the energy game, when you play from this identity of the uncensored self, you don't have to figure it out because you're here to feel it out. You're here to remember how powerful you are when you stop outsourcing your decisions to logic, because logic is not the name of the game. Logic is masculine energy. Logic is mind energy. You're here to really come from this place of calm and of power. And that power doesn't need to be justified by I worked hard enough, right? That's the energy game. When we play that game, we stop overthinking and we only think about two things. I tell my clients this all the time. We think about two things. That's it, two. We think about how grateful we are for what we have, and we think about how amazing it's going to be when we have all the things we want. Desire and gratitude. That is the energy game, is how do I live fully from desire and gratitude? The mind game is that overthinking. Got to do this, got to perform, got to juggle the balls, got to have all the plates spinning all of the time. And I got to worry about my kids, and I got to worry about my job, and I got to worry about the business, and I got to worry about my boss, and I got to worry about that bank account. And I got to worry about whether my husband actually likes me or not. That's not what you came here to do, my love. That is not what you came here to do. And I know you feel that. I know you feel that so big. You did not come here to struggle. You did not come here to solve all of your problems. You came here to experience your life. One of the things that came through for me, I'll just share a little story with you over the weekend. It was Mother's Day weekend, depending on when you're listening to this or watching this, but those of you that are live, obviously, you know, it was Mother's Day weekend. And over the weekend, we were able to drop the kids off with their dad for just a couple of hours. He lives in a community where their pool opens early, because they have a heated pool. So the pool was open. It was beautiful. And we had FaceTimed, my ex-husband's girlfriend to wish her a happy Mother's Day. And they're at the pool, and George is devastated and all the things. So Kevin texts me and he says, hey, if you want me to take the kids for a little bit, like, I know it's Mother's Day, but if you want a break or you just want them to come play, bring them by. I'm like, cool. Exactly. It's beautiful. I'm going to drop them off. We're going to go on a motorcycle ride. And so I asked Eric, I was like, are you good for a bike ride if we can get an hour? And so we go out on the bike, and it's incredible. Like the best ride we've had so far this year. Like the weather is magical. Every tree is green. Like the sun, there's not a cloud in the sky. Like I can't remember, guys, the last time I felt so alive, right? So just excited about everything that I was creating. And I was thinking about this idea of Mother's Day and my relationship with my mother and my relationship with myself and all of this. And that's what I realized, is that like the game is literal. The past only matters if you let it, because our addiction to overthinking comes from micromanaging the past. Well, in the past, this happened. So I have to think about how to avoid that. In the past, I tried this and it didn't go right. So I have to think about how I can protect myself from that. In the past, when I put myself out there, I got rejected. So I have to prepare myself for rejection. In the past, and we're constantly pulling our past into our present moment. And so what came through for me over the weekend was, it's not about learning, like teaching you guys how to work. It's teaching you how to live. When you live in the past, you're only going to get more of the past. And if that serves you, if what you had in the past serves you, do it. Right? Keep thinking about it. Keep fanning that flame. Keep giving it your attention. Keep giving it your energy. But if it doesn't serve you, if it doesn't excite you, if it doesn't light you up, stop fucking thinking about it. It's completely irrelevant. And so you might be thinking, but my identity, Ryan, my identity, like who am I without the past? I hope that who you are without the past is who God made you to be. This beautiful, incredible, powerful, unlimited being. That's who you are without the past. You're just carrying around all the fucking baggage of the past and thinking about the past and trying to create value or earn the thing that you want, when that is physically impossible. It is impossible to earn the thing that you want. You can only feel the thing that you want. You can only be a frequency or an energetic match to what you want. You can't earn it. It's impossible. So you can think all you want about your problems. And you can think all you want about how hard it is and how heavy it is and how you wish you could get off the ride and how you're so sick and tired of your own bullshit. Or you can choose instead to stop thinking so fucking much and to start feeling instead. And to start really owning your identity of the creator of your reality. Really start owning the idea that it's just me in here. It's just me in here having this conversation. And in here I say inside of my head, it's just you. It's just you and you. You and God, you and the universe, whatever you talk to that's in there, the non-physical thing you believe in, that's the only thing that's in there. So we have got to stop overthinking our decisions and start thinking about, what would I love? What would be fun? What excites me? What could I spend a lot of time working on? What would be so much fun? Apparently we excited the dog in some capacity, right? But that's what came through over the weekend, is we're trying to learn how to work. And I don't want you to learn how to work. I want you to learn how to live. You're an expert at fucking work. You're an expert at overthinking. You're an expert at suffering and sacrifice and hard and hustle. I want to teach you how to live in alignment with the bigger part of you. I know that sounds airy-fairy, and even coming out of my mouth, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm being asked to say this out loud. But that's what this is, guys. That's what the uncensored self-discovery is. This is my, I think, kind of, I call it the flagship part of my flagship program is expanding, because even when I created it 4 months ago, I still created it with this tiny piece of logic, right? Like, you need a process to go through, and don't worry, those of you that are already in this program, you're going to get all the add-ons. So no panic. If you're like, but wait, Ryan, I already took it. Don't worry. Don't worry. If you've already taken it or you're already a client, I'm going to make sure that you get the upgrades that go along with this. But I'm reimagining this program to bring in more of this softness, more of this living, more of this feminine energetics, more of this, how do I fully trust myself to actually create? Because if you're still looking for a logical step-by-step guide to, manifest the millions, you're missing the point. Because the point is that the millions already exist, and your work is to become an energetic match. And you can't become an energetic match to whatever it is that you desire while you're constantly overthinking every move you make, every conversation that you have, every conversation that you've ever had, every failure that you've ever had, every time you've ever fucked it up, every time it's ever gone wrong, right? You can't create magic from that space. You can only create magic from magic. You can only create abundance from abundance. You can only create love from love. So you want to build a life you love, you got to fucking learn to love again. Love yourself, love your circumstances, love the bullshit. That's the work. That's the invitation to the uncensored self-discovery in this reimagined phase. I'm actually going to do this 2 ways, guys. I'm going to give you just the program. So I've had people come in different phases and different budgets and different ways of doing this. So there is a way to do this one-on-one with me. It's $3,333. Do the uncensored self-discovery one-on-one with me right now. What that includes is 3 live calls, all the curriculum, and then a couple of live masterclasses, because I'm going to teach all of these next lessons live that you're going to get to be a part of, and you're going to get a little bit more Q&A from me. But also, if you don't want to do it in that way, you can just do the program itself. So no coaching, no support. You just want the transmissions. You just want the magic. You want to study it on your own. $555. I'm going to give you the old curriculum. It's not old. I'm going to give you the initial curriculum, and then I'm also going to give you access to those upgrades. So that's the offer that's on the table for you guys right now. That's available for the next 2 weeks, right? For the next 2 weeks, it's $3,333 to go through this one-on-one, 3 one-on-one sessions. And then, like I said, access to those master classes that I'm going to teach live. Or if you just want to go through it on your own, you're like, Ryan, I don't want the coaching. I just want the teaching. I just want to continue to study this work. I want a place where I can go and I can study and I can learn and I can evolve. $55. I'm going to give you the flagship program the way that it exists today, and then you are going to get to participate in those additional ones for us. So it's going to be a huge bonus for joining us right now. But that's what this work is about. It's not about this idea of, how do I follow these logical steps? It's how do I become an energy match? How do I become an energy match? How do I stop obsessing over the past? How do I stop obsessing over all the things that didn't go right? How do I stop obsessing over every single decision that I have? How do I stop obsessing over what other people think of me? How do I stop obsessing of all of that? And the answer to the question is to remember who the fuck you are. Because if I'm the creator of my reality, what other people think of me doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It is not my business, because if I'm the one creating and it's my energy that creates, the only thing that matters is what I think of me. The only thing that matters is what I think of me. The only thing that matters is what I desire in my life. The only thing that matters is what I think is fun. The only thing that matters is what I love. And there's 5 of you thinking right now, oh gosh, but Ryan, what about my husband? What about my kids? What about my boss? What about my clients? What about my mom? What are they all going to think? And you have to decide. Do you want to play small because of what somebody else might think? Or do you trust yourself enough to create enough magic that those people will get in line? They will align with that version of you. Because when we stop overthinking about all the shit that doesn't matter and isn't moving the needle anyway and is only keeping us stuck, and we start focusing our energy in an intentional way, thinking in a way that's getting us closer to our goals instead of further away, the magic that happens is bananas. Guys, I have a client in business therapy who manifested a promotion at work that comes with more money without doing a single fucking thing. She did 0 things to, oh, by the way, this new position open, we're giving it to you. Here's your new pay. That is what it means to play the energy game. That is what it means to play the energy game. I am telling you guys this on a recorded line. I have an outstanding tax bill that I'm working on with my accountant right now. And I know that it's there and it's being discussed and all the things. And I fucking got a piece of mail today that said, hey, by the way, you overpaid your business taxes in 2023. So here's a credit towards that balance. What? Out of nowhere, I got a credit. So basically, I got money to apply towards that balance that I did nothing for, that I didn't work for, that I didn't imagine, that I didn't earn. I just set the intention of like, we're going to figure out whatever's going on with this. It was something to do with payroll taxes and other things. It's just, there was a lot when I went through my business partnership. So, but I'm just telling you, that is what energy work is about. I'm so sorry for the barking dogs. We're going to close the door, actually. Sorry. Mondays are always chaos here. It's trash day. And I don't know why I decided to do live videos, but it's always when, the dogs are like the trash guys out front picking up the trash cans, makes a lot of noise. But like, this is the type of stuff that's happening, right? In my client's world, where just magic is lining up. Opportunities are knocking on their door. They didn't have to go out and find them. They didn't have to work for them, right? It's happening more and more to me. People just clicking to buy. Like, that's been my dream for years. I just want people to click to buy, and it's happening, right? But then I also have people in my inbox saying, hey, I'm interested in your programs more than I ever have before. I'm not doing anything differently. I have merely decided to become an energetic match to what I desire and make that my number one priority. If you would like to do the same, I want you to send me a DM. If you know what program you want, send me, I'm in. I'll send you a link to buy. If you have questions, let's talk about it. But the way that we are doing this work, this version of me, that let's how do we live instead of just fucking work? It's going to be the most exciting journey of your life. So those of you that are here live, thank you. Those of you listening on the podcast, same goes for you. Send me a DM. We're continuing this unlearning series. Let's talk about, what are we looking at tomorrow? Let me look at my notes. Tomorrow's topic is the myth that self-sacrifice is noble. That's a really good one. That's a really, really good one, because it goes right along with this overthinking and self-sacrifice. I'll say yes when I want to say no. I'll say no when I want to say yes. I'll put somebody else's needs above my own because they're more important than me, because I need them to do what I want them to do, and I don't trust myself to be powerful enough to do it on my own. That's going to be a great conversation. So the conversation continues. If you know a woman that needs to hear this, please share it with her. Please, let's make this community a space where we continue to have these conversations. I do believe in the idea of collective consciousness. And so the more of us that are having these conversations, the more of us that are talking about this, the more of us that are thinking like this, the more magical our world becomes, not just for us, but for our kids and their kids. And when we think about the ripple effect of this work, to me, I just become obsessed with, like, we have to keep screaming this message from the rooftop, because I want to free powerful women from this proving energy that we've all been told are necessary to be successful, and instead learn how to create from our own innate personal power, so we can create a life that is so uniquely ours that there is no blueprint for it. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Uncensored Self podcast. If this conversation cracked something open for you, trust that that's the work. And share this episode with a woman in your life who's ready to stop performing and start creating. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe, leave a review. It helps this message reach the women who need it most. Remember, you're the creator. The rules are yours. And your uncensored self, she already knows what to do. Keep leading, keep listening, keep becoming.